Good evening and welcome. Good evening and welcome, everybody. Oh, we have so many people in the house. It's unbelievable. They're just coming in like unbelievable. Top chat. Oh, Denver Skinner, first in the house. Good evening, Chris and Sue. Good evening, all. Graham Allison, Peter Piper, Nigel. We have 9 people in the house already. I've only just turned it on. Anyway, what are we going to talk about tonight? That's what I want to know. What are we going to talk about tonight? Fire away. Ask the questions. I'm going to leave it. I'm going to leave it 10 minutes, and if you haven't got 30 people in here, that's it. I'm going. I'm gone. There's more things in life than just sitting here with 10 people in the house. I mean, thanks. Oh, we got 12. Thank God for that. At one point, I was thinking I'm sitting here like an absolute fool until Denver came in. Thank goodness Denver came in twice to make it look busier. Oh, Sue's in the house as well. She's in the background. You'll tell me she's in the background in a minute because she'll be coughing again. She's been coughing for 3 weeks. We're talking about muzzle training at the moment. I'm trying to put a muzzle on Sue. Trying to stop her freaking coughing non-stop. She's coughing again, see? We've got 17 people in the house now, but I can't even see you all because the chats are moving up slowly tonight for some reason. So, Nigel Moore, good evening. Gary Marriott, good evening. Tim Weston, good evening. Like I said, Sue's in the house. Christopher, good evening. And Abigail French, good evening. Well, Michael McLaughlin, good evening to you. Well, that's caused a bit of a stir, isn't it? What Michael put up in the group, didn't it? Eh? That's caused a bit of a stir, isn't it? Eh? And become a certificated gun dog trainer. I bet you're all freaking looking that up, aren't you? You're all looking up how to become an overnight sensation. By God, she's got some qualification, that woman, hasn't she? She has got some qualification. That's all I can say. How long and how much money has she spent on that qualification? Even though it just shows the bullshit. I think, yeah, you're right. But isn't it funny? Just give us a second. Isn't it funny? Just give us a second. "22 comments." Now, I'm not going to read out her name. I'm not going to give her the satisfaction. But she's a qualified canine behavior practitioner with diploma in canine behavior, ISCP, and a level 4 advanced canine behavior diploma with training and professional experience in puppy and adult training, competition obedience training, fun agility training, canine coaching, and search dog handling. I'm a certified trick instructor, canine conditioning fitness coach, and stunt dog judge, which means I'm also triple freaking hell, crown trainer with DMWYD. Also hold qualifications as a Scent Work UK instructor, WSDA instructor, and in scent enrichment. Reactive sensitive dogs are a particular passion for me. And not only have I focused my professional studies around the subject, I have also personal experience of living with anxious and reactive, working with force-free approach. I do not use any force or physical discipline in my training. I use calm and relaxed and patient manner to provide the most benefit to the dog and avoid stressing them. I am now a gun dog expert as well. Now, would you say that she's slightly overqualified? Because I shared a video. Now, I'm not going to say who it is. Bend over and the sun shines. The problem is, this is the sad fact, isn't it? it's, if you look on the link, if you actually look on the link, there is that many people saying that they'd like to join the College of Education because they think it gives them certification, doesn't it? And I'm not being funny. Did anyone actually look how many views she's got, how many followers she's got? I hope Tim Weston, I don't think she's selling herself. No, I think she's on. See, what happens is people think, oh, I just got to get qualification in as many different disciplines as possible. And I tried to explain this the other day. I tried to explain this, that you can be a jack of all trades and a master of none. And yeah, £2,000. Yes, Gary, exactly. That's the cost they're paying. They're paying it because they're desperate. They think that gives them credibility. Now, if you go onto a Facebook page, she's got less than 20 followers. She's got less than 20 followers with all that qualification. All that qualification. She should be running the internet, shouldn't she? People should be flocking to it in their thousands. And then what happens? I look at the videos and I sit there in amazement at these videos that she sends. So I shared one. I shared one with the group. And you've got to listen to it. You've got to listen to this. This is magic.
Battery 90%. Connected to Upton iPhone and Christopher's iPad.
Listen to this.
Training and behaviour. Just put a video together just to say hi. I often speak to customers on the telephone, messages, emails. Sometimes I get asked what I look like. So I thought, well, if I post a video, you can actually see who I am. There are pictures of me on my website. There's one with me with my dog Raven, who's a Rottweiler. There's also another one with a customer's dog, which is a German Shepherd, who's now actually a friend because I have such a bond with the dog that just can't not see her. You know, I love her as if she was my own. Miss her loads because I used to see her quite regular, but because of COVID and various other things, I don't see her as much. Well, nice to have spoke to you, and hopefully I'll get to meet some of you.
Isn't that lovely, everybody? Isn't that lovely? And the thing is, with the qualifications that she's got, and this is what we were talking about the other day, with the qualifications she's got 60 subscribers and 60 videos out there. I couldn't find a video to impress anybody. And I was looking for a video to say, hang on, look at the qualifications this woman's got. She is absolutely loaded with qualifications. What do these qualifications mean? Yeah, such a friend, more like a cash cow. Exactly. That's what it becomes, isn't it? That's what it becomes. Did the dog become a friend, or the person that she was actually sort of educating with the dog? That's the problem, isn't it? When you think about it, everyone, they are led by the blind, aren't they? And I'm not being funny, but if you're qualified practitioner in all them things, and you've only got 60 subscribers and 60 videos, and I can't find one of any quality, well, that tells me so much. That tells me so much, because I like looking before I run my mouth off. And when you look, you really see. It means you're legally qualified to rob people of hard-earned cash. A wise man once said, never mind the bollocks, show us your dog. You're right there, Peter, aren't you? You're right there. But that's the whole point, isn't it? It's like, if I looked at a page, because I didn't put it up in our group, it wasn't me who put it up in the group, it was somebody else who put it in the group because they couldn't believe that there's now a certification for gun dog trainers if you go to college. And so, let's be honest, there's nothing wrong with certification if it's worth the credit, if the paper is worth, is it? Like the certification, if it's worth the paper it's written on. But unfortunately, they're tapping into gullible people. Now, everybody calls me sexist and freaking woman hater and all this shit. has anybody done their own work when they looked at that? Did they see how many women want to join that college course? How many women want to go to dog university online and pass that as dog trainers so they can have that as a certification? Because they can't pull it in with the way they train their dogs, showing the way they train their dogs. You know, our trainers who are certified accredited trainers for our group, right? They haven't got that overnight. They had to work really hard to prove themselves. They've gone out there, they're looking for business themselves, no problem at all. They're independent to do what they want. But what they've got the backing of, they've got somebody with experience who's mentored them, looked at their work, and now can proudly promote them as good dog trainers, gun dog trainers. That doesn't mean they can only train gun dogs, because they train pet dogs in their sleep. Because let's be honest, is it all about obedience, or is it about building a bond with the dog? I think us gun dog trainers build such a bond with the dogs. I think we stand above most people, but also with the level of our training, we stand above most people. And so if you can train a gun dog to a good standard, and your string to your bow is you run dogs in competition, if you're running dogs in competition and you're not actually winning anything, you could question the fact, hang on, am I good enough? Am I good enough to promote myself as a gun dog trainer because I'm not winning nothing out there in competition? But like I said before, you don't need to be running dogs in competition to be a good gun dog trainer. Now, if you want to be a competition trainer, helping people with dogs in competition, then you perhaps need to understand a bigger percentage of that area of the sport. So you would be wise to go to somebody who's achieved success in competition if you want to be a competition trainer, right? And you want to enter the sport of competition. It's like me. I can lay bricks, I can mix concrete, but I can't do it like a professional top masonry. Somebody's into masonry, and yet some people are into finer detail, and yet some people can lay bricks fast. We've talked about that last week with Kieran. We had a great chat last week, and it doesn't mean you can't do it. It means you've got to learn to do it. And at the end of the day, when people enter competition with a dog that they think is good and they don't get nowhere with that dog, that's a big learning curve for people. It doesn't mean you've got to enter competition, because if you can train a dog to a high standard and somebody who has got a lot of understanding and knowledge like myself can give you that credibility, that endorsement, then that should give you the confidence to go out there and help other people and reach out and show people where you're going wrong. And that's what our group is doing. But how many of you running around touting for every seminar that is out there on the dog training world, that you want to be on every seminar and follow every trainer and learn every aspect of dog training? Now, if you want to do flyball, I suggest you go and join a flyball club. If you want to do obedience, go and join an obedience club. But how can they say you do a few weeks over the internet course answering questions, and then you can become a professional gun dog trainer? And she owns a Rottweiler, and she's got one client that she sees on a regular basis. I'd be very concerned. But it shows, doesn't it, how gullible people are. A pet dog is nothing like a working breed dog. Exactly. And good evening, Frank Casey. Anything else on that? A specialist gun dog trainer? What the fuck? Exactly. A specialist. How dare they call themselves a specialist? Now, I've got the bottle to pick up the phone, ring her, and speak to her, right? But it would be classed as bullying. It would be classed as you've embarrassed her. You've put her on the line. I've given her a platform. I've given her a platform. I've said, listen, if I did it, it would be like, hang on, here's a platform. Tell us your experience as a gun dog trainer. We'll ask you some questions. But this is what we're having to put up with because of the internet. Now, the internet is a fantastic thing because it's brought us all together. It gives you such a platform to view stuff and learn from. But you people who've been following me for a while can pick somebody up like that, watch something like that, and instantly you can give your opinion. And because it is private, because it's in our group, and we actually talk about these trainers out there, and I don't mind talking about any trainer out there, because anybody who puts their head above the parapet, you have to be prepared you're going to be shot at. She doesn't need any more publicity. She doesn't need a name mentioning, because at the end of the day, it's just going to take people to her, doesn't it? But I think the kindest thing is to not cause a shitstorm for her. Although somebody should freaking have a word with her and say to her, do you realize what you're actually doing? You're making yourself look a right plank. You're making yourself look a right plank, because what you're doing is just trying to sell yourself in every area because you're desperate. Why don't you stick to something and learn how to do it rather than jumping from one to another? That's what they're doing, isn't it? Horses for causes. If you want to try a trialing dog, go see someone who's great, lots of experience in trials. If you want a protection dog, go and see a specialist in that department. I agree. I totally agree. And that's what I say. At the end of the day, you don't get me giving people information and reference to protection dogs. Why? Because I don't train protection dogs. That doesn't mean I couldn't train a protection dog with some, if I followed it a little bit better and I put my head down and learned. That doesn't mean I couldn't go in that direction, but I wouldn't call myself an experienced protection dog trainer when in fact I've specialized in training gun dogs. Now, I train people with their dog. I train people when they come to me with their dog. And some of those people, they are not really gun dog people. They have a gun dog. It's gone haywire, but they've had it as a pet. And someone said it makes a lovely pet. And every puppy I've ever sold, I can't say that every puppy went as a gun dog and a gun dog only. Even with my following and my knowledge and understanding, when someone comes to the door and they want to buy a pup, right, would I rather sell it as a gun dog? It's up to the person, isn't it? If the person wants it as a loving pet, we've had hundreds and hundreds over the years, haven't we, that have turned out to loving pets. Loving pets, because they've not been introduced into the field of gun dogs. If you introduce that dog onto game at a young age without training it, it ain't going to be a pet. It ain't going to make a good pet. But if you train it to be a pet, they make wonderful pets. They'll crash around the house and sleep and be your best friend. If you allow them to take over, it will start to take over. It's as simple as that. And yet you get people going, hang on, horses for courses. You shouldn't have a dog. You shouldn't have a dog unless it's bred for its job that you want it for. I disagree. I disagree, because many a good gun dog makes a good pet. Now, would I suggest a number of gun dog breeds for pets? Not particularly. Would I suggest a number of different breeds for pets? Not particularly. Let's take the beagle. For example, it's genetics. It wants to do certain things. Barry Lamb, outdoor everything's late to the party. How you doing, guys? He's in the house. Barry's in the house. So what I'm saying is, and we've all touched that subject, haven't we? Because Karen touched that subject last week. Barry Lamb touched the subject the week before about people just starting up as dog trainers on the internet without no experience, very, very little experience. a couple of weeks on a course and you call yourself, someone actually wrote it there, didn't they? A specialist gun dog trainer. See, Gary got it right. A specialist. What is a specialist gun dog trainer? What the hell, in her eyes, is a specialist gun dog trainer? Gun dog trainers that have never worked a dog or don't even own one. I will put money on that she has never shot over a dog, had a gun, right, and worked her, is it Rottweiler? Rottweiler, I think it was, wasn't it? On a shoot. So where the frig hell has she picked up the understanding of how to train people with gun dogs? Now, what she's going to do is she's going to go, well, I've got a little bit of obedience training, so I can call myself a gun dog trainer. Because gun dog trainers, the first thing they do is they put obedience into the dog. Because that's what it said on the certificate. Exactly. That's what it exactly said on the certificate. Now, I'm not gonna actually show it here. I'm not actually going to show it on here because it'll show a name, and I actually don't want to do that, right? But I want to say, it said to recognize completion of the level 4 specialist program, gun dog certificated specialist. So I did my homework. I rung them up. Not her, but this dog training college. And there's a woman on the phone who didn't have a freaking clue what she was talking about, didn't know how much it cost, how long it took, and all she wanted to do is to get a phone number. And I gave her my phone number, and they've not rung me back. I'm so disappointed because I was going to record it. Not record this woman, not to highlight this woman, but to highlight the dog training college. That's exactly what I was going to do. Certificate of achievement. I'm sorry, but let me ask if Barry's in the house. Barry, if you win a trial, do you think you've proved your dog of a good standard? Let's ask Barry that question if he's listening. If you win a trial with your dog and you enter a trial or you enter a number of trials and you win with that dog, have you proved your dog is of a good standard? Because that is the benchmark in reality. If you want to sort of say, I've achieved success in competition, what is she, you know, like I keep saying to everyone, I don't think competition is the be all and end all, because guess what? I always said, just because you've got competition dogs, it doesn't mean that you can train a dog to a good standard, because many people in competition hardly ever come away with an award. They turn up, they like to have a chit chat, it's social, they like to do it on the training days, but it doesn't mean that you're a good gun dog trainer if you're a trialing person, and it doesn't mean that you're a good gun dog trainer. So Barry says yes. So if you win, then you've set a standard. You've proved your dog is of the standard that they felt it was good enough on the day, not only to beat the other dogs, but was good enough to be classed as a well-trained gun dog. Right? If you win, you've got a good dog. So there you go. But what happens if you enter that dog 40 times and you get nothing? But then one day you have a bit of luck, the best dogs go out on the day and you win. You've got to give it merit. You've got to give it merit because on the day it won. You could say, yeah, but it was a crap card. After the card went out, that dog stayed in. But on the day, if the judges are judging properly, they shouldn't give the win if they don't think the dog is of a good standard. It's very hard to win a trial being an unknown, you need an even better dog. I totally agree with that, Barry. I totally agree with that. But what I'm saying is, let's now look at it the other way, Barry. Let's look at it the other way. Let's just say now, forget the trials, because a trial, you put the dog under a lot of temptation. You'll start to find whether you've got faults in your dog or faults in your training. It will show you. It gives you a good indication of the standard of your training. Is it up to that standard that you can finish a trial on a regular basis and be in the awards? If you can finish and be in the awards on a regular basis, you can train dogs to a good level. If you're only finishing one trial in 30, you've got to ask, what do I need to do to improve? So there you have a reference, don't you? You have a reference if you're running 30 trials a year, and you're finishing one. Now you could say, luck came into it. I didn't get the birds. I didn't have this. I didn't have that. That's true. But if you're banging on the door every time you're running your dog in competition, or you win first time out, you could say you're lucky to win first time out. No, you've got to make your own luck as well, but luck plays a part. But if you can win on a regular basis with a dog that's not entered that many trials, then you're a better person than someone who's got to enter 30 trials before they get an award. Now, it's given them an indication of the standard of people who turn up. So let's look at tests. Let's look at tests. I know plenty of film stars that don't run their dogs in tests. Barry's run dogs in trials, and Barry's run dogs in tests. So let's ask Barry that question. Barry, would you think that the standard of running a dog in a test can sometimes be harder than running a dog in a trial? That's a strong statement. Do you think running a dog in a test can sometimes, I did say sometimes, be harder than running it in a trial? I finished an open trial, no awards in novices, 4th, 3rd, 2nd, never won. I've finished an open trial, no awards in novices, 4th, 3rd, 2nd, never won. There you go. Was that in Ireland? So the question I asked him, I would say tests and trials are, I would say tests and trials are not, I would say tests and trials are not just the same. No, they're not. Everything out very difficult open tests, you don't need to be trained, fully trained to get to the top, Chris. Fully agree. If you enter your dog in open tests, I'm not talking about novice tests so much, but that's what I said. Do you think it can be more difficult? In a trial, what you need the dog to do is hunt tight, find birds within, make good ground, find birds within gunshot, flush them and stop to the whistle. When they've shot them, the judge tells you to send your dog in, out. It's like rough shooting. You can go rough shooting and do that. You can train a dog on rough shooting, but if you train it to a good standard, then you could go trialing with that dog. But if you haven't got a real well-trained school dog that you've trained on dummies, you've trained it to run straight lines, you've trained it to handle, you've trained it to stop on a sixpence, spin around and look at you, then you enter tests. You might be all right in a puppy test. You might be all right in a novice test. But you start running in open tests, they can be bloody hard. Exactly what Sue said in the background. Now, when I turned professional, before I was a professional, I used to run all my dogs in. Jesus Christ. They're in the background. Do you hear that then? Die quietly, Susan, in the corner. When I first started, I entered scurries, I entered team challenges, I entered team events, I entered open novice tests, I entered open tests, I entered trials, novice trials, open trials, and I built my way up from that to judging to running those days, right? Organizing those training days, organizing those events of those tests, open tests, setting the test, setting the novice test. That all comes with experience. That comes with experience. But you don't set the test so everybody fails. You set the test so the best dog technically on the day should win. You're not looking to put every dog out by setting the test. But what I'm saying is exactly what Barry said. An open test really will show the skill of your dog, right? If you and a novice test is good. If you can win a novice test, then it's a stepping stone and well done to you. And we've had 2 people in the group, haven't we? One's come very, very close. You know, actually scored the same points until the runoff, and then got beat in the runoff. And then we've got one of our lady clients. I'm not going to mention her name because she's a bit shy. She might not want everybody in the world to know. But she's gone out and won a novice with a Labrador, novice test with a Labrador. And she's over the moon. And so she should, because she put the work in. She put the time into the dog, the commitment, and the extra polish she put on the dog. Now, I could see that dog was of a good standard. And we've shown it in the group, and she's shown it in the group. She's a lovely lady. And she's done well. That's the sort of person you want to be tucking yourself up to, listening to. If you want to get on in the dog training world, if you're a Labrador person, you want to be training with her because she can now show you what it takes to win a test. Right? And that's part and parcel of what I think is that extra qualification that gives me the accreditation that she's done very well. She should be proud. Yeah, she should, Gary. And that's it. But it's not for everyone, Gary. Not everybody wants to go down that road. And I'm not saying that unless you go down that road, it makes you a good trainer. But what it does do, it gives you your certificates. And you've had to earn them. You've not got them for nothing. You've had to earn them. She has a certificate. What?
She has a certificate. That means something.
Fucking hell, he did that.
He's shouting at us.
He's shouting at us in capitals. She did very, very well, Graham. Very, very well. I'm over the moon for her.
We know what you meant means.
Graham means.
Well, I did.
Yeah, means. Yeah, men's. I thought certificate for men. And let's be honest, she's a lovely, quiet handler that might be slightly sensitive about overthinking, but she's done it, and I take that off to her. But she's not even running around like a cock with a chest out, is she? Going, look what I done, look what I done. It was idiot here who put the feed up in the group, but only in the group, not worldwide, just in the group, because I was so proud of her. I thought to her, well done. But sometimes it's the quiet ones you've got to watch, isn't it? It's the quiet ones you've got to watch, because I can name people, and I've actually been watching videos about them. When we went to Scotland, and they were saying every our dogs are better than competition dogs, and I went, hang on, calm it down. Just because you've got your dogs to a reasonable standard, until you enter them in competition, you won't know unless you enter them in competition. Because where you think they may be of a very high standard, and I give you credit when credit is due, I can see weaknesses in certain people's training, and I can see strengths in people's training. My job is, if you want that information, I give you that information to make you a better trainer. How many trainers out there are doing this for people as much as I am publicly in our group? How many people are actually turning people into a good dog trainer because of the videos they put up over the years? Like Barry said, and Karen said, how many videos have they watched in YouTube before we went over to Patreon? And yet Patreon's worked out far better, because we can talk about it in there without upsetting the snowflakes of this world. And there are so many of them. Arthritis and keyboards. And that's it, Karen. I think zero compared. Everybody can put up a small video, and other people can go, this person's a genius, this person knows everything. But I've watched those small videos. I haven't seen anything at the moment that's thought, wow, fantastic. That's really good. I didn't think that. I never learned that. That's something new I've learned. I keep looking. I'm looking for that genius out there, that maverick, that person who stands above everybody else. Now, don't get me wrong. Some of them people have been very successful in competition. Now, what you've got to understand as well, that some of them people have been very, very successful with Labradors, but they haven't been successful with Spaniels. Now, some of them have been successful with Labradors and Spaniels. So if I was you, and you had a number of gun dogs, and you wanted to learn from someone, I'd look for someone who's had success with Labradors and Spaniels when training. Now, we've had someone join the group on the Patreon group with a very, very strange little hunting dog. Did anybody see it today when I shared it? He sent a video to me and I shared it. Did you see it? Did you see what I said when he said, have you had any experience training these dogs? Now, it's the sort of dog I'm thinking of buying because it's got very, very short legs. And I think I could keep up with it at my age. Does anybody actually watch that? Dachshund, exactly, Gary. Dachshund.
I thought that when you said short legs.
So we've had a little dachshund. We've had somebody join Patreon with a dachshund that wants to go on with a little dachshund. It's going to be so much fun watching that little dog. And he had the recall on that little dog, and he had to stop on the little dog. And I'm looking forward to it, everyone. I'm looking forward to it. He's joined the group. But what was the first question he had? Have you had any experience training these, Chris? And what did I say? No, I haven't. I generally haven't. But it'll be really interesting. Yeah, exactly. They are working dogs, yeah. But the thing is it a dachshund or is it a crossbred, like he says? Because if it's a true dachshund, it's going to be different. Dachshunds are real smart little dogs. Exactly. Not caught up yet. And the whole point of it is if it's a genuine dachshund, it's going to have traits of a dachshund. If you could find someone who's trained them for the field, then you're better off learning from them than you are from me. But that doesn't mean we can't show him how to get the basics and what next level. Because he said to me after I put up the video and shared it with the group, he said, "What do I do next?" And I said, "I'd work on retrieving. I'd start getting the dog retrieving. Anything, get the dog retrieving. Wanted to play the game." He said, "Because I've done this, look," and I was chuffed. I was amused. I thought, well done on you. Do a course and become a specialist. That's it. I could do a 1 week course, couldn't I? Get a certificate and become a right. And I could imagine me out in the field working a dachshund. It would look beautiful, wouldn't it? Come here, you little bastard. I could do 3 steps and catch it. 3 strides and catch it. I worked a few pet ones. What does this person want at the end of his dash? He wants it to be a gun dog. He wants it to be a shooting companion. And I say, good on him. Good on him. They're little hunters, aren't they? They're little fierce bastards. But they've got a different mindset. And they're not a Springer Spaniel. And they're not a Labrador. Right? But we've seen some weird and wonderful dogs over the years. And at no point would I tell him a pack of freaking lies. Oh yeah, I used to have a pack of them. I used to hunt the frigging lot out there when I was small, when I was 7, and I didn't need to move very fast. But I think what a wonderful dog to have when you're 70. You keep up with a little bastard, but I bet you're a bit noisy. Well, only problem is if you go near a foxhole, you'll lose it for hours. Exactly, nice. So you got to train it, don't you? Keep it on a long way. Keep it on a long way. But would it be nice if someone in the group said, "I've had one of them and I trained it and it worked wonderful as a little rough shooting dog, finding rabbits, put it down freaking holes, badger sets, it'll come up fighting, won't it?" But they're fierce little, stubborn little buggers, aren't they? We know that. But at the end of the day, isn't it wonderful that he put that in, asked the question, I told him straight away. He could have left the group, didn't he? He could have gone, "That's it, I'm leaving the group." But no, that's his choice. We don't force anybody to stay in the group. The whole point of the group is there to help each other. Will it tip up when it tries to pick up a... I mean, it's going to be lovely watching it bring back a big hair, isn't it? Eh? Watching it drag a hair across the freaking moor, eh? Wouldn't that be funny, wouldn't it? Where was he from again? Where's he from? He's Isle of Man, was it? Something like that. I tell you what, they'd die trying, wouldn't they? They're bloody die trying. They've got a determination with them, haven't they? They little nasty bastards as well. They make angles, don't they? If you go around people's houses. Well, I used to work for my old man years and years and years ago when he was a TV engineer, and I used to have to go in and carry the TVs out of people's houses. Them freaking dogs, you couldn't turn your back on them little bastards. They nip your ankles, little fuckers. They couldn't get any higher up your leg, but they nip your freaking ankles. They were little fiery little bastards. If they didn't want you in the house, they didn't want you in the house. As simple as that. I mean, you used to say, I'm not coming in unless you put that freaking dog away. What a coward. What a coward. Anyway, I told you about the thing where we had one sausage dog. I told you, when we were kids, my dad had one. My granddad, actually, it was my granddad's dog. And we had a Springer Spaniel. And when she come in season, we used to put a bed on top of the stairs. And they used to put a bed down the bottom of the stairs for the male sausage dog when she was in season. So she used to stay at the top in the dog box, and the sausage dog used to stay down at the bottom of the stairs in his dog box. Only when she was in season, but when she wasn't in season, they used to mingle and be together. I mean, have you ever seen a sausage dog trying to get up the stairs with an hard on? I'll wait for the laugh.
You'll be waiting a long time. I think they've heard it for 1,000 times.
They've heard it 1,000 times. It was a true story, though, but it was funny. Oh, Jesus Christ. They're in the background, honestly. Has anybody got a spade? They're only as good as a willy warmer. Yeah, Steve. Yeah, allow. Yeah. The one that my granddad had years ago, we were only really toddlers. We were real toddlers. I think 5 and 6 or so. That's 5, 6, 3. I think that little thing was a nasty little bastard. You went near it, it used to freaking nip you. But that was a sausage dog, and is a sausage dog a dash hound? I don't honestly know, because it's not my speciality, is it? A sausage dog is it's normally got a bread roll around it, isn't it, with onions? Sausage dog, tomato sauce. Sue said. Oh, she's getting freaking cheesy in the background now, honestly. So, has anybody got any questions? Because I think that I think Michael M shared it, didn't he? I think it was Michael M that shared it. Yes, 3 main types of dachshund. There you go, says Michael. Nigel can tell us a bit more because he's in Germany. And they salute. Have you seen a dachshund saluting? Not like that. We can't get a freaking hand up that far. Soon sounds like Lisa did a few weeks ago. You're better soon, Sue. Freaking so do I, Gary. So, Gary, do you think it's unreal that she's had a week off this week not because she's got a cough, but she wants to be with me with a freaking cough? I said, why couldn't you go back to work this week and have the week off when you're not coughing? Because I've done about 5 videos this week, sitting here in the morning doing a video for the group, and all I've got is halfway through the freaking videos I'm doing a voiceover. Sorry if I scared anybody. It's just I go to sleep now, and all I can hear is herd immunity. No, Graham. She should have stayed at freaking work and handed it to everybody there instead of having a week off at home. Decided, shall we go out? You sit in a restaurant and everyone's looking at us. Thank God COVID's not here at the moment, because imagine that. We had COVID and everyone's, as soon as you want somebody cough, everyone turned around, didn't they, when COVID was on? Now, she's had it 3 weeks. It's a bit worrying. It's a bit worrying at her age, because since she's had...
Enough of the age, please.
Enough of the age. Since she's had COVID, every time she gets a cold, it's a big one, isn't it, Sue? A cough and a cold, you can't seem to clear it, can you? Just hits a chest. And a chest isn't that big, actually. No, sharing, caring. Chris is not coughing at the moment, Gary. Thank you. Touch wood. I'm drinking plenty of whiskey, and I'm staying away from it as much as possible. No, I'm not. She's there. If I catch it, I catch it. We share everything in this house. But to be honest with you, it's been very, very frustrating. It's been very frustrating when you're doing a video, and I've played it back to her and said, listen to this, and I'm talking, and then suddenly she's quite quiet now. Has anybody got any questions? 45 minutes gone, and we've had a little bit of chat about unreal people. Unreal people. Anybody else? Anybody else got anything? Oh, Gary Marriott. You said you were putting up a link to your Facebook page, and you shared it with Corleone Talk. You asked me, obviously, and you shared it with Corleone Talk that you're putting up Brackenvale Gundogs. I've tried pressing it. I can't get in. Has anybody else been able to get in? Has anybody else tried to get in and can't get in? Because I got into a logo, I get into this, but that's all I can get into. That's a good question, Kieran. Haley has brought the new whistle. What's your opinion, guys? Haley has got it. Haley has got in.
Haley's got into the video thing.
What?
You were reading the whistle. What's your opinion?
No, I was asking about Gary Marriott.
Yeah, Haley has got in.
Well, how do you get in? Because I can't get in.
And so's Tim.
How do you get in, everybody? I can't get in, Gary. I didn't know how to get in. I will share the link again. I don't know what happened.
Press the name.
It says.
Bottom left.
What are you on about?
Tim says press the name.
I have.
Jamie said, I tried, but no joy.
Yeah. I got.
Like Tim. Graham.
I can't get in, honestly.
Even with his arthritis.
I can't get in. And what it says here at the moment, it says you've got no likes and followers. When surely the group would support you to start you off. How many likes and supporters have you got then? If I'm not seeing if I'm only seeing a copy of it, perhaps it's not the original. So Gary, the new whistle is pants. Can you explain to me why it's pants? Why it's pants? Is mine on the side there? See, my whistle should be. Is it just there?
No.
No. Is it in the key thing there? So come on, tell me, it doesn't work at a distance. What do you mean it doesn't work at a distance? What do you mean it doesn't work at a distance? Right, I'm going to give you an honest opinion. I can't stand the bloke who's promoting it. I cannot stand him. He's a Gundog snob, right? And his name was Buy Him In Ben. And I say it as it is. I got no time for the bloke at all. But I am totally honest about it. And I have both. I have the green one is the plastic one. It is the new one. And the purple one is the original hard one. Because if you need to raise the volume at distance, it stops working if you blow harder. Okay, what I'm going to do, Steve says the picture is different. I don't like it. I'm going to blow it hard, but not into the camera. How much harder do you need to be blown? How much harder do you need to be blown? Now, I do know this. They've got a design fault. And if you twist the top of it here and try to bend it, a lot of them are breaking on here because they're nowhere near as strong as that one. So if you, sorry, I didn't think you could see it. If you bend it here, along here, because it's got the break there, bend it, they snap. And if there's a gap in there, you won't get that long whistle. But I actually quite like the texture in my mouth. I actually prefer the rubber in my mouth. But I don't like that texture in my mouth. But on every one I ever have, I wear them out here because I hold them in my teeth like that, so I can talk as well as using them. So I thought, without being judgmental, go out and buy it and put it on your allied look with both of them. So I have. And the go-to one for me when I'm out is the green one. And that is the new one. But I like the fact that they're ideal for blind people. I think that they've been very considerate that they've designed them for blind people, because you can see the old one, right? The new one has got braille on it. See it? The texture is spot on, but it doesn't work as well as right. Okay, so what I'm going to do.
They say they're having trouble when trying to blow it softly.
Okay, softly. Okay. Okay. So loudly. Loudly. Hey, what do you want? I can get you a football freaking referee whistle if you like. It's Brazil for Fenton.
It's braille.
Oh, it's Braille for Fenton. I thought she said Brazil. I just looked into it. Yeah, it's Braille. And so to be honest with you, I'm honestly saying that the texture of the green one I like better. The longevity, the old one will last you 10 times longer. And I know that I've had 2 of these that have broken along there. And what does the lingo go when they're trying to advertise it? This is the only whistle that you'll ever buy. This is the only whistle you'll ever buy. That's a load of bollocks, isn't it? I've had to buy 3 of them because 2 of them are broken. Well, actually, 2 of them were broken in the packet when I took them out of the shop, put it in my mouth, blew it. It was crap at blowing. And then I realized it's got a weak point on it. Took it back in and they changed it. So it didn't cost me nothing, but I went in twice before I got a good one. And that one, it's not broken yet. But at the end of the day, mine's the same as yours, Chris. Oh, there you go. Let's measure them, shall we? Has it got a big red end? Stop it, Jamie. He reckons this is the same as mine, Sue. There you go. So Nigel doesn't like either. But then again, you freaking just shout at your dog, Nigel. It doesn't matter, does it? Do they sell us a monthly subscription? Yeah, they should do, shouldn't they? It should be money back guaranteed. Which is the only whistle it says you'll ever need to buy.
Nigel said it lasted a week or so, then the rubber was through.
Yeah, but the thing is, you bite down hard on everything your missus said. Nigel. Or was it your boyfriend told me? Stop it! You're always blowing your trumpet. I bet your trumpet's got frigging bite marks in it, haven't you? The bugle. The problem is when you're used to blowing expensive tools, instruments, tools. Oh, a client bought me mine. Oh, bloody perfect garage. Freaking got a client bought in one, Sue.
Yeah,
a client bought me mine. I didn't like it. Maybe I'll try another one to see if I can get on with it. bloody client, lady or man. Haley's never bitten through. She wears it like a gold chain. Yeah, this is it. Just a status symbol. I thought you were being rude there for a second, Karen. I thought you meant Haley's never bitten. Sorry. So that's because she needs glasses in the bedroom. I can't get upstairs. Yeah, I don't want to know now, Jamie. Stop it. We're going back to dog training. We were insensible tonight. And then you all start. No, is that Gary Marriott? Well, no, it wasn't. It wasn't. No, he just got somebody to blow his whistle. No, he's got somebody to buy him a whistle. It was Karen Evans saying Haley has never bitten through us. I thought, Jesus Christ, I wonder what they're talking about. And she wears it like a gold chain. This is it. This is it. And at the end of the day, I used to know a trainer who used to have 4 whistles. One for the silent whistle, with you used to put a little bit of plastic on it, and they used to be like silver, didn't they? Like the silent whistle. I've never got on with him in my life. I've never got on with him in my life. I just seem to put a lot of spit into it, and you haven't got the plastic on. You chip your teeth, and I don't want to chip my teeth. I've been smacked in the mouth with a dog because they seem to be longer. And if the dog punches you in the mouth, you get a right freaking loose teeth for 3 freaking months. And at the end of the day, I've always had the 210.5 and the black one. I've never gone for particular colours. But all of a sudden, they started bringing out colours, didn't they? They brought out a pink one. And I thought, well, if I get a pink one and I wear a pink one, people think that he's not as a sexist and he's trying to reach out to his feminine side. And so I tried to go down that road, and people kept asking me then, what's that around your neck? And they used to say to me, what's that around your neck, Chris? And I go, it's a whistle. What's it for? It says Sue. If she doesn't come back and she's in town, I can just blow the whistle and find her. Then she'll stop on a whistle as well. As long as she's in the indoor shopping centre, she can hear it right through the indoor shopping centre. She loses me. Without me screaming at the top of my voice and making a spectacle of myself like I do when I haven't got my whistle on me. No, he doesn't care. And I used to be. I've done. Oh, I could actually write that on my resume, couldn't I? Sheepdog trainer. Used to be a sheepdog trainer. Yeah, that's back in the day when they were black and white. These days they come in all different shapes and sizes, don't they? That's when I was a Derby Ram. I used them on my collie, Karen. There you go. There you go. Look at that. Look, you use a freaking trumpet on your collie. No, I can use those, no problem at all. And I can actually shout away, away, not away, away. Come by, come by. Honestly, I've been to Wales with a few control boys. They are funny. They are funny. They got a sense of humour. The Welsh boys need dogs like we got in Cornwall. So if you wanted to buy a dog, you wouldn't go to Scotland and buy a dog, particularly for down in Cornwall. But you would go to Wales, because in Wales, they've got very similar cover. And they got dogs that like to it cover because that's what they breed. They breed dogs that are on it cover. I've had lovely Welsh dogs over the years. I'm not talking about sheepdogs. I'm talking about spaniels. And they got a real good sense of humour as well, the Welsh people, until you go North Wales. When you go North Wales, slightly different. But honestly, down Tiger Bay, the girls down Tiger Bay, honestly. What do they say? Come here? What did you do? What's that thing about the Welsh? I'm not going to say it because there may be someone here from Wales. Tiger Bay. Tiger Bay. One thing I have seen this year is people using pheasant whistles for dogs. Sorry, Jamie, you're going to have to help me here. Pheasant whistles for dogs. I love seeing the average person in the woods, dogs lose self-employed, and they stood piping the hell out of the whistle, pulling into a station, dogs completely, a train pulling into the station, dogs completely obviously blowing them off, don't be rude. That was me. Yeah, you see it so many times, don't you? And I think someone said the other day, I think it was Kieran who said it, didn't he? He said the other day, he said the problem with Hayley when she's out on the shoot, if the dog doesn't listen, she blows a whistle, the dog doesn't listen, she doesn't do anything about it, you get after the dog. But the whole point of it is, if you blow it once and the dog doesn't listen, you've got to get after the dog, because if you don't get after the dog, and that's another thing with these people, isn't it? Going back to that woman who was advertising herself as a professionally qualified, not just all-rounder, but professional. And no, what's she say? What's the word? Come on, somebody must tell me. It's all done force-free. Everything is force-free. Every aspect of the training is force-free. And I'm telling you that if you use that whistle and go pip pip and that dog doesn't turn, and you go pip pip again and it doesn't turn, before you know it, that whistle means nothing to that dog. If you blow that stop whistle and that dog hasn't stopped on a sixpence, get out after it. What are you going to do? Throw food at it? Specialist, that's it, Gary. I didn't want to mention it. You're dead right, specialist. I'm a specialist. So what are you going to do? You're a force-free specialist gun dog trainer. You blow in the turn whistle. You probably don't know what the freaking turn whistle is. And the dog's not turning. What do you do? So you blow the stop whistle and the dog's not stopping on a sixpence. What do? You blow the recall whistle and the dog's not recalling. Under temptation. Let's say under temptation. Let's make it a little bit more challenging for the girl. What do you do if you're a force-free specialist? I would pay to have a lesson with that woman, and I would take an out-of-control gun dog up there, and I would video it. I'd say, can I video it? So what you tell me, I'll understand. And I think it would be the biggest seller out there, her showing us what to do with a dog that, should we say, blows you off? I mean, some of these girls like that. Can I say that? The problem is, throw food on the floor and get your prayer mat. You would ask the dog nicely to do as asked, of course. Yeah, I want to see it. You give up and move to a new clueless customer. Exactly, Steve. Exactly. And that's the whole point, isn't it, everybody? We live in the real world in this group. We live in the real world. We promote gameplay. We promote kindness. We promote building a bond with your dog. But if that dog is not listening to those 3 commands that you've taught it, you haven't just brought the whistle out like some people do and expect the dog to understand what the whistle is because it's a gun dog and it's a gun dog whistle. You've taught the dog the behavior and now it says stuff you. What do you do? Is there anybody in here could tell me, anybody, what you do as a force-free trainer, a positive only trainer, to get that dog back on side? Last resort, cheese. Cheese is not good for you. Cheese is not good for you. So why would you be giving the dog cheese? You'll be giving it freaking nightmares. That's the problem, isn't it? Steve pray. Well, this is it. If you could. She didn't mention that girl, did she? That she's done a clairvoyant course. Because if she had, she could have sent a psychic wave to the dog. Come back, Jack! Jack! Come back! Stop, you little bastard! Oh, you can't say bastard. That's not positive, is it? You cutie, you little kind of junk. Honestly, they live in a completely different world, don't they?
You should just give up, throw the certificate in the bin, and get another job.
Like I said, anybody who promotes positive only and has got all that clarification and certification, I say you're wasting your time, wasting your money. Go and find someone who's rolled up their sleeves and learned how to correct out of control dogs that have taken over and not listening. Because it's so easy to promote yourself as a beautiful dog trainer if you don't put problems into the dog you don't create any problems, the discipline will be minimal, really minimal, very little discipline will you need to use if you tap into gameplay and you tap into the positive side of the fun-based training. We know that. What happens when the dog says stuff you? Dogs are opportunists. Funny that there's still no videos showing us how to do it. Exactly, Steve. Stand and wait for it to come back when it wants, then praise it and reward it. No, Chris. No, I'm sorry, Chris. You've got to go back to school. Chris is just taking a Michael. Trust me, he's just taking a Michael. Wait or hope, Chris. Karen, back to school for you as well. I'll ask what whistle it was, but I was. What?
I think it was really weird.
Really weird. They talk it, but never show it. In theory, exactly. Now, just before you go, you've got 24 people here. Do you think I've handled this reasonably well this evening without naming her? Not without naming and shaming. We just talked about it in general, in public, and people are going to think, who the hell was that? Who the hell was that? Well, we can show you so-called gun dog trainers that haven't got a clue. So when people like her try and step into my lane or into our lane and try and tell us what we're doing wrong, and they can do it with love and affection, I say, why haven't they got the following of Caesar Milan? Why has Caesar Milan got a massive following? And yet he uses discipline. Why has he got a massive following? But if he didn't use discipline and everything was done with love and affection, he'd have 3 times the following, wouldn't he? Because that's what it's like out there, isn't it? You get some people who live in the real world, or they've tried everything in the positive market that these people peddle this crap, and then they turn around and go, well, hang on, Caesar's done it, and you can see it, it's actually done. He's actually showed you how to correct a dog. Now, if we don't show people how to correct dogs, then how the hell do people understand how to correct dogs? But when these charlatans are peddling their crap because they think they can make some pin money and take over the dog training market, I just think that we need to highlight and talk about it in public, and let's see if we get any negative feedback. Thanks everybody for tuning in tonight. 27 people in the house. We had 7 minutes over time. This is getting ridiculous. We only did an hour on Wednesday last week. That bloody Karen Evans kept us there for an hour and 40 minutes, didn't he? Hope you enjoyed it, Karen. I watched it back. I always watch what live feeds with other people that we have on the group. I thoroughly enjoyed it, and I thank you for that, and everybody, and I thank anybody who's got the balls to come in and say it the way you see it. Thanks a lot, everybody. Chris Upton and Sue signing off. Good night, and God bless. Bollocks to you all, and may your God be with you. I had so many clients come to me who've been to these fluffy trainers and got 0 results. Yes, Gary. That's the way it is. Good night all.